All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the second episode of the Pengu Podcast. If you didn't see the first one, well, you're in luck because there's a new one. We got some wonderful people here. We're going to start from the far end with Iconic. Hello. Welcome from Astralis. We got Hotancold. You're pretty familiar with this house and just this team in general.
New setup to this.
New setup. You like it?
It's nice. It's nice.
And our very own NGL. So, NAL Play Day 1 and 2 is concluded. And we saw some upsets. We saw some expected outcomes. Any opening thoughts? Just like, what happened day one?
I mean, there's a massacre day one.
There's a massacre day one?
Dave.
That's all I know.
Who did the massacre?
I mean, day one was just it was just a really good team day for us, I guess. And like when the whole team's playing well as an individual, it just makes it easier for like me to play well. So
You did.
I feel like it was just more of it being a good day for me. I felt like it was a good day for the team, and I feel like everything was like working really well for us, and it's like our team play was really good. So I feel like that's one of my biggest like takeaways from week one, at least.
The scrim Astralis came through for a match.
Is that how it goes? Astralis in scrims is better than Astralis in Pro League, typically? Is that a meme?
I mean, I wouldn't like. I'd say like. I mean, it's not like too far off. I'd say.
I mean, old DG, not as far as now, but
like me,
past DG, you guys were insane in scrim.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is? Being a team in scrims that are like slamming people, and on game day, is it shakes? What is it?
I mean, maybe for some people, but I mean, I don't think it's ever been like that for me. So I don't. Yeah, I can't really.
I think
pinpoint
a lot of players unknowingly abuse like online. So I think that's like a pretty big difference.
That's a fair statement.
So, do you feel the difference to LAN?
Yeah,
I only feel it in like some guns, but like most of the time, I don't really like feel a difference.
I definitely feel it in more guns, but I feel like I just feel like when I'm shooting people, like if they're quick peeking me, I could kill them. Scrims, it's almost impossible sometimes.
Yeah. It's definitely just like how I die sometimes. I just feel smoother, I guess, on land too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that zero connection, right? Because when you play on 50, 60 ping online, you got the whole quote-unquote peaks advantage, ghosting, etc. And jiggle peeking is just like absurd. And you go to LAN and it's like, it's still good, I guess, but it's not nowhere near as good.
Yeah, exactly.
And some players will benefit from it and some people will fall apart. And you spoke a little bit about it, Iconic, but you're popping off on a new map of Skyscraper against Soniqs and pretty much put them in a dumpster. And Super was here in the last episode talking smack about how they're going to be, top 2, top 3 in A. Now they're at the bottom. Does that feel good? I
mean, it's still early on, but it feels good to beat them since they beat us throughout all of last year. And, it's just it's a pretty heated rivalry between the two teams. So just in good competitive spirit, like, it was good. It felt good to beat them. So
that was your first time, right?
Yeah.
As DG and Astralis?
Yeah, I guess DG Astralis.
Oh. Interesting. And that's something that we all noticed casting the event as well. And I think fans from home also experiencing is that there's a lot of hype and energy, of course, being on a LAN event for NAL. But also all the intro videos that you guys did were there's storylines, there's some rivalry, some villains. Of course, we got somebody like the Beast Coast boys, getting pretty aggressive on the microphone, getting in there. And I think it's really elevated the NAL for potential for this year compared to last.
Yes, I at least think this year, just like people are more open about like how much they like each other, if you get what I'm saying. Like this Beast Coast DarkZero rivalry, there's just a lot of rivalries in the NAL right now. And there's a lot of things to prove. So I feel like it's gonna be a good year for it. And I feel like Playday 1 and 2 were already like infinitely better than like last year, like production wise. I really like the in-person set they have now, so I think it's going to be a good year for Siege.
We're very happy when we saw that. I mean, we did the opening skit. I don't know if you guys saw it, where we had like the green screen with Doa and Jacob and Cookies, and then we're like, we did it like an hour before broadcast went live, I think. So like super quick handle camera, boom boom, and we're like, this is gonna look super janky and kind of cringe. Or we're going to open up with the whole, oh no, we're on a green screen again, and then break the illusion, but like, okay, we actually have a stage this time. And obviously, we also prefer that much more because it just looks so much better.
Yeah, it's way better. I think Monty, I've watched Monty and like Doa since forever, like in League of Legends. And I just think they're like a step up from what we had before. And it definitely, it helps a lot.
It does. I mean, the experience, because Monty also works with us behind the scenes. I
Yeah.
don't think that's super known to people, but Monty shot all the opening videos, I believe, in the content day before NL started.
Yeah.
And Doa and Monty have like, I mean, if you combine their experience, they have more than like all the players combined in Pro League and NL. Like they have so much experience in esports, and I think it shows on broadcast the things that they can bring to the table with content behind the camera as well.
Yep.
So we're happy to have them. Harden, you played 2 games like the rest of these guys, but you played Bank twice.
Yep.
Something that's interesting because we always talk about hiding map pools and whatnot. Did you, without giving too much away, did you intentionally just like, you know what, we can play Bank twice, let's do it? Or is it one of the situations where Mirage is seen as a weaker team, we can play any map against them, and we can, you know, keep our other maps hidden?
I mean, it's definitely nice when you could keep other maps hidden. Like, we knew we were better than Mirage at Bank. I mean, we even played Mirage a couple times in scrims, and it always went well. And we didn't think they were dumb enough to take us back on the same map after having played it just, you know, the day before.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that happened the last stage. We played them on, or they played Cafe the day before, and then we played them on Cafe. And I mean, I don't know if you watched the Mirage videos like behind the scenes, but they were arguing. You know, we shouldn't have went to Cafe. We shouldn't have went to Cafe. Supposedly they're doing the same thing this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not have a good showing on Bank the day before.
No,
so
they
it's
did
like,
not.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, because you guys had to play.
And SSG did have a good showing on Bank the day before, so it's
exactly. Because you guys played XSET first, and I think it was something like 3-0 to XSET, like they were in the lead.
Yeah.
And then, first of all, like you guys end up clutching up on your ending attacking rounds, and then, you know, we saw XSET's attacks, and it was like, ugh, not the greatest.
Yeah.
And then, Nick, you guys had your own great performance on Bank as well. And Mirage, I mean, obviously, they're the youngest team in the NL in the sense that they kind of got put together last second or last minute. So I don't think anyone expects too much from them in stage 1 necessarily. But both Mirage and XSET, do you think there's potential for like stage 2, stage 3?
Probably. The
I'd say
younger
Mirage
teams
in,
are
like,
always
a
like a
next-
question mark, I feel like.
Mirage
Just
is in, like
'cause
a
no
rebuild
experience.
stage.
There's, I think, way more potential on XSET personally. Yeah. I mean, I think most people think that. Mirage, I don't really see those players fitting. Like when I was on the stage against them, I'm like, looks like we're playing like a FPL team right now. Like I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, they're all good players. I just don't know how they fit as a team.
Yeah.
That seems to be what most people said in interviews as well. It's like, this just seems like a weird roster that came together and no one expected it whatsoever. And you need time. Whereas XSET looks a little bit more logical. They've played together before in the past. They've experienced. They got that whole Brazilian bodega situation, which people make fun of course. But there seems to be potential on their defensive side of things, at least for now. And then, you know, can they fix their attacks going further? And then maybe just then they'll be a decent team. Is that something that you guys have experienced in scrims? That XSET has been a good contender, like a scrim team, so to speak? That's something you can speak up on?
We've only scrimmed them one time, and I mean, I think they're definitely like, you could feel a difference from scrims to at least the one match we played against them. Like they were a little faster on attacks. So maybe it's just like, I don't know, the scrim balls or whatever it is, but I definitely think they have potential to be a pretty good team. I don't know how long it'll take. Like, I just don't know if any of them could IGL. But I'm pretty sure like that's what Bodega wanted, was like a IGL list, like a team. I just don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I was impressed by them in scrims.
You were?
Yeah.
What about them? Just like in general, or anything in particular?
Just their attacks were faster.
Okay.
I mean, it's nothing much more to say, but
So, so it could have been one of those situations where maybe a little bit of jitters on stage, not having
yeah,
a
it could be.
performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally liked what I saw initially against SSD. I was thinking, damn, if they slam SSD day one, that's a great start. And it looked like they were going to do it.
Mhm.
And then Bosco and Skies happened, and then they didn't. all of a
I
sudden.
thought they were gonna beat SSG
Yeah.
like before the game started.
I voted for them. Like, no bias to anyone, but I was like, XSET's going to come out swinging. They're going to cause some upsets. They're going to go crazy. And then I was like, 3-0, yes, they're going to do it. And then no. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, Harden, like the whole 2v4 round on basement attack. Like, what was the comms like in that round? Because you guys were actually popping off.
Yeah, 2v4. The first like main call, I actually called for them obviously to play kills because we're not gonna be able to plant. So I told Bosco to just get to the reinforcement, and then crack a plant because we just roamed Warden. We saw he was like super deep in Vault or whatever, gold, whatever you guys call it. But we told him to just crack the plant, and then get off and shoot him. And then he just comes running with his Warden gun, just looking so goofy. He cracks the plant, and then it's a free kill. And then the rest, I mean, they just did themselves. Like, I don't know. Supposedly Bosco like shot a C4 from the second guy. I didn't even know that because you can't really see it on stream. But I mean, it was a crazy round. It was like done perfectly.
Yeah, I think Bosco tweeted, as you mentioned, like, oh, the stream didn't show it, but I faked the plant, got off, got a kill, faked the plant, got off, hit the C4 midair, then I got the plant. Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. And then, of course, the cover was there from, I believe it was Skies and Bosco. Yeah. And you guys just found the kills. And it looked really good from XSET because we were watching the game. And, you know, they got the opening kills. They fell back to side. They played super conservative, super passive. But then, as you mentioned, they played so deep on side. No one had the interest in towards A. The headstrap was free, etc. And then they got a walk in and basically retake against you guys. And that doesn't always work in your favor.
Yeah.
So you can almost argue that they played it too passive, if you will. Too conservative.
Yeah, I think actually XSET like is already pretty damn good on defense. I think most people think that.
Yeah.
I feel like one thing they lack on defense is like that like caller to like call when to push together, like kind of just move people around on defense. And I feel like that's like a reason we beat them in those types of rounds.
And that's something you guys have changed as well, right, from invite to now, is that you guys have changed the roles up a bit, especially with Bosco, I believe.
Yeah.
Changing some stuff around internally to make it work better.
Yeah, Bosco's on IGL hard breach, support. And then Skies is just being a maniac on the flank watch right now. And it's been working, so I like it.
And then, Nick, you guys get a lot of criticism for roster changes, or role changes, rather. Anything you guys have changed?
Roles, no.
No, right? You guys actually saw that now.
Yeah. It was all just like baseless accusations.
No, I know,
That's
right?
Reddit.
Because people are like, oh, they changed stuff like during invite, between invite, and after invite, and all these things. And it's like, did they really? Like, actually?
Yeah, it's like we didn't change anything. People were like roasting us for having like Rob on flank watch, and he's like, I think he has like either the most entry engagements on the team or like the second most. So it's like, is this really an issue? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's just map dependent for you guys though, because he plays entry on certain maps, like
Yeah.
Twitch a lot. I mean,
Plays
that's not
Thermite
like,
on some maps.
huh?
Plays Thermite.
Yeah,
on some maps.
Thermite on club.
Yeah,
I think
but that's club's always been kind of different though.
Yeah.
clubs. Yeah, I mean, he's not a planning Thermite, so in my opinion, he's not a Thermite.
No, he's just like the secondary.
If you're
But
not,
people see it and they think, oh, they've changed the roles again because now you got Rob on Thermite, and that's hard support, obviously,
Yeah.
because that's what people think Thermite is.
Mm-hmm.
But on Clubhouse, the first wall you breach, or the first wall you get to, is the one you gotta breach, and it's like you become a +1 all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
You can just go crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People don't see that necessarily. Not always, at least.
the thing is like their team is interesting because like who else would you put on Therm?
Mm.
Like,
I mean, people would say Canadian, right? Everybody on
Yeah,
Reddit would be like
but-
Canadian, of course.
but he's also the most flexible.
Yep. And that's the issue that you get, especially with attack or repick. It's like, you want to be able to have your flex player actually be able to be like, all right, guys, I see an opening here. Let's try this stuff. And we saw both Parabellum and Soniqs, for example, play Glass and Chalet on a basement attack. And that's not something that we'd normally see without the attack or repick, because it's so risky just picking that Glass outright, not knowing the bomb side, not knowing the setup. And a lot of people had criticism towards attack or repick before the season, saying it's too overpowered. It's way too good.
Yeah.
Now that you guys have played 2 official games, any early ideas of like how you feel about it?
I think it's okay, like right now, but like I feel like we don't really know its true capability yet, because I feel like in the scheme of things, like once you get used to it, it should just be like pretty OP, because like you can just completely change like your whole op lineup around the site you see and what you see like in the round, and like the defense can't really like do anything to stop that. So I feel like it's not as bad as it'll get, if you get what I mean by that.
I understand, yeah. So like the longer it will go
Yeah.
on for, the worse it'll get, because attackers will get better at using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, once teams like optimize their lineups and stuff for a certain site,
I think
then
it's
it'll-
pretty broken personally.
I think
I
it
think-
speaks to the character of teams, right? Because I think Mirage did a really poor job at utilizing it.
They
Like,
didn't use that at all.
Exactly. Like they had issues getting the breach open with Thermite on open area twice, and they just didn't pick Ibana once, and it was open. And I'm like, if I was them, I was having issues getting the breach to impact, then I would pick Ibana, because the 2 pellet situation means you cannot get impact trick really. But then you got good teams or fundamental teams, which arguably all 3 of you guys play for, structured teams. you utilize the attacker repick a lot better, and you get a lot better results because of it.
I just think it completely breaks like certain sites. Like
Yeah.
if you have the perfect op for a certain site, it's just so hard to stop. And I mean that's what we can do now. So
theory crafting wise, would you just change it where it's similar to six picking, where let's say one attacker can change in the drone phase, because we still want that flow? Because I, as a spectator, I felt it was a lot more engaging and fun to watch Pro League with the attacker repick.
yeah,
What would you guys do?
definitely like watching it more. It just goes so much faster.
Mm.
I don't like it on defense because it just doesn't feel like you have a lot of time compared to like attackers to like think about stuff. But yeah, it would probably be good if like one or max like two people could switch. I don't know like how you even do that, but
You only have like two
Right.
of them, and like only two people can like switch it, something like that. But I think it's too overpowered having like all five be able to switch their
It is-
entire lineup.
it is overpowered, but it is also like in a weird way kind of fun to play with.
Yeah,
At least for me, because like I'm flex, so I could just pick whatever most of the time, and it's just like a lot of fun to just pick whatever I want, like anytime I want it. I don't have to ask for the six pick.
I don't even know if one or two would be like balanced enough though, because like
yeah.
you're not changing the full five or even four most of the time. So
Yeah, that's true.
Even
I
just
feel like
having one or
one
two
might
would
be
probably-
balanced enough though.
yeah,
Two might be a little too much. But I think most of our attack rounds, at least on bank, were like 3 to 4 people switching,
mm-hmm.
depending on what they were doing.
No, yeah, that's definitely a lot.
But obviously, there's certain maps where you just can't do that. Like Clubhouse, most of the time you really can't.
Yeah,
You need to at least keep
you're set.
your 2 hard breach and then Thatcher if you need Thatch.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly on like different sites, like you can just completely change up your op lineup. Like just who has what. Start here, just you're just throwing the operators around. You're switching with people. It's just, I feel like it'll get worse. It'll get worse. That's all I have to say.
One thing I do like about it personally is the possibility for people to actually be more flexible, because currently, or leading up to the first 7 years of Siege, we've seen like one flex player per team, and that's great. Like that person can play Monty, the Glass, the Ying, whatever. But with Attacker Repick, you have the opportunity to have 3 quote-unquote flex players in some maps, where you can change both. Like you can play the O's, you can play the Glass, you can play the Ying, but that requires 3 players to understand those 3 operators, depending on who wants to play it. And that's kind of fun. But as you also mentioned, it might also just kind of be overpowered because, well, 3 people can change to a perfect operator and just break the bomb site. As a defender, your options are like to spawn peek, try and get an early pick, or like just play crazy aggressive because strategically the bomb site falls otherwise.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads us to new maps. Some of you guys played new maps. Some of you guys didn't play new maps. Double Bank, SSG. But Iconic, you played Skyscraper. First game against Soniqs.
I mean, do you just want me to talk about like how I feel about the map?
Yeah, like, what do you feel about the map? Were you confident going into it? Is it something that you expected Soniqs to kind of challenge because they're known for a weak map pool? What kind of happened in the draft phase?
So towards the later end of the draft phase, it was Bank, Skyscraper, and Border, and we banned Bank. So it was their choice for Sky or Border, which we both felt pretty comfortable on. And they banned Border. We went Sky. We have been practicing Sky a lot in the off season. I think we repped it a lot to get comfortable on that map. We actually did something interesting too with the new map. We kind of like all made our own strats for the sites so we could like understand the sites more, because that's like the biggest thing with the new map is understanding like what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
So like getting through that hurdle was tough, and then like learning all like the cheese stuff on that map was pretty tough. And then like it was obviously like we just felt comfortable on that map going there, and with them too, like usually like they're not the best at like new maps, so yeah, I was pretty comfortable going into that game.
You guys got defense too, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that map's pretty defender sided too.
Yeah.
Is that the general, like, is it defender side in scrims? Is that like what we get away from it?
I mean,
Yeah.
from what I played, yeah, that map's just, it kind of feels like old theme park type defense. I think theme park's actually a little easier to attack now with attacker repick.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
Sky is like, I don't know, there's just a lot of shield spots that you have to
Indeed.
clear, so it's did anyone on your team play the old Sky in Pro League? Did Shuttle?
Shuttle probably.
Aisha might have. I don't know.
Because
Yeah,
like
Shuttle might have, actually, yeah.
they're-
Should've.
I think he probably did.
there's some similarities from the old Sky.
Yeah, there's some.
Not as much, but there's some that you just know because you played it.
I mean, you guys also looked way more comfortable in Soniqs because they look kind of lost. We're watching like, what are they doing? Where are they gonna win? And then, well, they didn't. So
It's just the map is just it's like so deep, like just the angles you can hold onto like just different area spots, like across like the whole top floor, like for both sides. It's just a lot of deep angles.
I watched Seth's stream like randomly one night, and he was saying that the reason they lost you guys on Sky is because they didn't get any practice against pro teams on it.
whose fault is that?
I don't remember. It was like the other day, but he said the only teams they scrimmed on it were Mexican pro league teams. But I'm like, why would you take a team there then? I don't know. You gotta gauge how good you are on those maps.
It's hard though, right? Because if you don't scrim pro league teams, you don't have like a 1-to-1, scaling.
Yeah.
But also, you might think you're good at a map that's new, and then you play it and you're like, okay, we actually suck on it. So what we often do in G2 is obviously like keep the new maps open for as long as possible. Try and fake people to think you play it, and then when you scrim a team like, I don't know, Empire, BDS, who typically don't play new maps, you beg them, please scrim us on this map. And they'll be like, no, we can't because like we're not ready for it. And then they think you played really well, but you don't. So there's always a bit of mind game, I think, in regards to, can we go to theme board or Sky or not? It might have been Soniqs playing that angle as well, where they left it open to that last 3 map pool, and then they were like, okay, I guess we'll go there if we have to, because we don't think Astralis is that good on it, because they didn't scrim you guys on it, right?
Yeah, no.
So they didn't know.
I feel like for new maps, it's like you just kind of have to gauge off of your comfortability and like you being able to like know what you need to do in certain scenarios for like on attack to break sites, and then like on defense you have to be comfortable in your strats. I feel like that's like the only way you can gauge, because there's no way to gauge how other pro teams are playing the map. It's just kind of how you do it, and you just gotta have to rock with that until like the map's played a lot in pro league. Then you kind of see what like the meta is, and it'll probably shift once more teams start playing Skyscraper, Order, and then Theme again too, because like the Theme meta, it used to be like the new theme park. It used to just be the defender sided.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be bad.
It still is for the most part, I think.
It's
not as
easier
bad.
with
It's not as bad.
It's not as bad with attack or repick.
I mean, in my opinion, if I'm Soniqs, I'm like, I'm not taking a shot to a map like Sky. I feel like you guys are just like a really good defense team, and if you get defense on that map, I mean, you guys are probably gonna get like 4 or 5 at least.
I feel like people aren't even fully used to theme again, honestly.
It takes some time.
Yeah.
It's not just like, because the game has changed since then as well, right? Operators, metas, etc. I mean, the Goya rework alone is gonna change theme park a bit because those 2 shields are no longer there, but you get like 80 seconds of denying fire. So.
Yeah. Like, I thought TSM was going to be... I thought they were going to, like, slam Oxygen on Theme, just because, like, they had the same roster from when they...
That experience.
When they originally played Theme. So I thought it was going to be just kind of like, plug in their old stuff, like, upgrade their strats with, like, whatever new ops came out. And then it'd be, like, they're just going to have an easy time, but I think they're not even, like, fully used to it again.
I think TSM's and a little bit of Soniqs problems is, like, practice. I know TSM was not practicing for, like, a bit.
I did hear about that.
Which is, like... It's a little understandable. They didn't get a lot of time off after winning invite, so I feel like it's a little understandable. Soniqs, I don't know what they're doing. I just know Grix has played a lot of ranked games. Like, I don't know how you play that many ranked games if you're scrimming also. Like, I don't know, man. So I don't know how much time they were taking off, but I feel like that could be an issue for them.
It's hard if you're TSM because the further you go in a tournament, the less time off you get. If you get first rounded, you go home with that, week and a half on some teams.
Yeah.
Then if you win invite, probably because you grinded the entire year, like, all right, time for a break, relax, etc.
Yeah.
And I actually ran into Bolo and Achieved at like a ice cream store a little bit after invite when we got back home. And I was like, when are you guys scrimming again? And they were like, oh, we got like a week and a half off, I think it is. And they might have a slow start. Let's put it like that. Because, if teams have been scrimming from the get-go, you naturally just have to play catch-up. So they're a little bit behind, you can argue.
I mean, yeah, that's how it always is. But I feel like it's also magnified, by how many new maps there are, attack or repick. Like, they're probably going to struggle for... I mean, I feel like they have enough time now. Probably, I feel like next week they'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
They also got Nuers. That's a thing. TSM they got Nuers and Laxint in their game on theme park, right? It was like a 2v5 practically with those two players. Do you guys think Nuers is like cracked? Because in FPL, in ranked, I played him in CCL, I think, a few months or weeks back, and we got slaughtered on Cafe by him single-handedly.
I think he has super cracked aim.
He has potential.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of potential. He's super annoying to fight in scrims, I'll tell you that, because he's just quick peeking everything. I haven't played him in a match, so I can't fully say. Yeah. But I mean, he's had a pretty good start so far.
Yeah, he's still got time to prove himself. But I mean, he seems like he's very confident, which is always always helps.
Always helps.
Definitely a little overconfident, but I mean, that's only gonna help.
If no one shuts him down, he has every right to be overconfident, right? So you guys gotta shoot him down first. Be like, "Yo, all right, sit down, kid," and then like learn the ropes or something. I want to go back to maps real quick. If we had to rank Theme, Sky, and Border one by one, where do we put Sky from 1 to 10? How do we feel? We'll start with Iconic because you obviously played it. You probably think it's a 10 because you beat Soniqs on it. You popped off MVP of the day. I think 16 kills, 16 and 4. I think actually, I'm not entirely sure.
I mean,
something like that.
I mean, I'd have to rate. I mean, I like all the new maps, to be honest with you. I like them all. So like, it's like a 10s for me for all of them.
10?
All of them?
10s?
10 for all Border, Theme, and Sky?
I'm trolling.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
Sky I like a lot. Border defense is ass. It's Border's
defense.
the
The same map.
1 through 10. Let's go. What's your
1 through 10 on Skyscraper specifically.
Border's like a 6.
All right,
like
Border's a
7.
6.
Sky's like an 8. Then Theme's a 10.
Theme's a 10?
Yeah.
And that's on both. You like it as a 10 on both defense and attack?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
Theme's just always been one of my favorite maps as a player, personally.
All right.
Like going back, like
Yeah, you guys used that used to be your crutch map back in the day.
Now it's back.
You know it was too.
I mean, back on
Whoever was on the cafe
We
shield.
were nasty at Theme.
back on OB, we loved Theme. On Sonics, when I was a rookie, we hated Theme, but like I still like Theme as a map. And then when I joined DG, our theme was
Our
end
DG
game.
theme was good.
It was end game.
I agree. I think the worst map of the 3 is probably Border.
Yeah,
Respectable.
Just because like I feel like not a lot changed on it. It does feel different in a way, but it's I don't know.
They didn't change enough.
Yeah, they didn't change enough, but it kind of is refreshing to play. So I do know what you mean, like you like all 3, because I mean I kind of like all 3, but I kind of don't like
Exactly.
some of them.
It's a love hate.
Yeah, I don't like Border, but
Okay.
Border's
I mean
just
it's
so
fun to
small.
play, but it's like it's the same thing.
That's
It's-
what most people feared as well, I think.
It's so small. Like when you get into the map, there's not like a lot of space you can play because like the whole like courtyard. Like if you're a defender, you're not really playing in there at all.
So kind of like Coastline maybe?
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of
Still
areas where it's like you just can't really play, and then when you're in the map as a defender, you're just in the ring. You don't get a break. You're always fighting somebody.
Yeah.
You're always in the shits. That's how I look at it. I just feel stressed defending on that map.
Yeah, I'm the monitors player, and it's not fun.
So numbers, Nick. Any
Numbers,
number?
I'll go 10 on Theme.
Really?
I'll go 10 on Theme.
I feel like you're gonna disagree with this.
I'm not giving either of those maps a 10.
All right.
Is there a map in the game that's a 10 from you?
See, I mean, I don't know how you guys do your scales, but in my opinion, there's never like a perfect 10 for anything. Because, I mean, what if you find something better than that map? You're like, shit, now what do I give it?
Scale
Well, Theme's getting bumped down then.
Yeah.
Nah, once I give a rating, it's absolute for me.
Okay.
All right. So what if we say the current best map in your opinion is the 10? Like that's the highest, right? Let's say there's 10 maps in Pro League. There's 9. Let's say there's 10. The best map is number 10. You know, that's the most points.
Yeah,
What's the best map for you?
I don't know, to be honest.
So that's the easiest. He just doesn't know.
I just don't know.
He just doesn't know.
I mean, I think like from a competitive standpoint, I feel like Villa is probably the best. Usually it's pretty 50-50. You could like it feels like winning is like in your hands in Villa. It's not like you're like shit, now we have to attack lower basement on Oregon. Like this is gonna be a 50-50 coin flip. Most of the time it's in the defender's side. So it's not 50-50, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Villa feels for me. Like it's pretty half and half.
So like a good attacking team can get majority attacking rounds, so to
Yeah,
speak.
I like maps like that personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd agree on Villa being the best map,
Okay. Competitively speaking.
competitively speaking.
What about enjoyment? Let's say
No,
Enjoyment.
no.
Villa is a hell in a cell sometimes. Like that's how it feels for us. Like every time we have a good win rate on Villa, but every time we take people to it, it's like super close. Like we have some burners on that map.
It's also the most fun map. You like Villa competitively.
The
You
most
like Villa
fun map?
competitively. He's a theme park shill. Whatever.
I like Villa.
Okay.
I think Oregon's the worst map. Like,
Worst?
Yeah,
I think like
so boring.
just
It's-
how the map
yeah.
is built. I think it's the worst map.
I'd say Club is more boring, but Oregon's
Not for
probably-
me.
Oregon basement is just like how it's laid out. It's just so like it doesn't make sense to me. Just how they just walking down Freezer. There's 4 different crossfires you have to worry. 5 different things you have to worry about.
Well, wherever
down
you decide to go.
walking
from.
down the back stairs, dropping the E-box hats. It's just like they just made attackers just. You got to really be like. It's just hard.
That site feels like one of the most like rinse and repeat type sites.
Yeah,
On attack.
and it's just hard as an IGL, especially just to like think of new things.
Yeah, when
to
I
do
was
for that site.
when I was IGLing that map, that was my least favorite map because there's just not much that you can change on lower, especially.
It's like, guys, do a small tower, roam clear, take control, breach the hatches, and then backside, front side. Woo.
Yep,
It's
that's
like
all you-
literally.
Smoke.
You guys want to go back? You guys want to go front?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll bring a Ying this time. Like that's all you can do on that map.
Yep. And then the blue rush, which like rarely works, right? Like that's all.
That
you got.
just it really works.
I remember on Soniqs, like we used to do like blue directs, and just like that map is just.
That was the old BDS special.
Yeah.
That was
blue
the
direct.
only attack they did for such a long time. I feel
Yeah.
like
I don't know how they won that attack.
that's just BDS in general. They just win attacks they shouldn't. I feel like
Yep.
they're just very good at those attacks. It's like old Empire type.
Yeah, like you can do the same strat. You know they're gonna do it, but they're still gonna beat you on it. Like
Yeah.
that was playing Empire and Border in EUL was the most disgusting thing ever because we could say exactly which player would be in what position, we would still lose. Like you couldn't beat them. They're just perfected at attack.
I will say, after playing Empire like recently, they're like a lot more like adaptable. Like the first time we played them, I think Mexico, like they played way more aggressive than I thought they would, and it caught us off guard and they beat us. But yeah, especially Joystick. Joystick's kind of a freak. he kind of just walks around and finds kills. Like I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. Yeah, the when they came from CL to Pro League, one of their early strategies that they kind of implemented was that all their defending strats and most of their attacking strats were made for 4 players. So Joystick could just be like a complete individual. And you would see him, clubhouse, basement, just roam solo on
Yeah.
like blue stairs, top server. And if he died, well, they would know how to play that strat 4v5. On attack, same thing. He's Jackal alone, finding kills, contesting those roamers from the defenders. And it worked really well for them. Then Joystick had a very sloppy year,
Yeah.
I believe most of last year. And then he came back. And you said nowadays Empire feels much more adaptive and more aggressive. Unfortunately, that's in the past because as we know,
Yeah,
the
they're
roster
no
got
longer thing.
completely put apart internally, unfortunately.
Kind
Big
of
shame.
That whole situation was very,
that was a
It broke
But
some
that
hearts,
sucks.
right?
very interesting.
Like grand finals, invitationals. We all knew they were going to make changes, or I think most of us, because they've been kind of open about that. Their manager said publicly that they're going to make the biggest roster change that Empire has ever seen, which is 2 players, by the way, because they've only been changing 1 at a time, typically. And there was a rumor that they're going to, bench Scyther +1, then pick up 2 new Russian players. And then somehow, somewhere between them saying that during invitationals and shortly after, it becomes 4 players benched. Old coach comes back and Cypher stays. And they haven't had the best start in EUL either so far.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, it's kind of good for the other 4 players in a way because, like, from what I know, Empire's not the best org. Like, they don't really pay their players, is what I heard. But I mean, I don't know how true that is. But if that is the case, I'm kind of glad for them. It just sucks they have to wait a whole year to play.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's a long time.
Wait, is it a whole year?
Yeah, because
I thought it was just one stage.
well,
if they
they
would
want to
play
stay
full-
together. If they want to stay together as 4,
okay.
they have to wait the whole year.
If you're in that situation as a player, are you waiting that full year with your team?
It
Or
depends. If I get
a good offer, are you?
How do you make a living?
the thing is, they speak Russian.
Yeah,
None of
True.
that's true.
like
That is
what
true.
teams are they joining besides the Russian teams? There's no teams that's like better than their team.
That is true.
Individually, they could probably get offers. Like Joystick does speak some English. Like he speaks with Doki quite a lot during invitationals and whatnot, or events in general. But as a team, you're right. Like they would probably have to speak Russian, which means there
Okay.
isn't really any other offers, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Kind of
VP
forces
or
it
Empire.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I think Dan probably is like the best at English, right? Out of them.
Probably Dan or Joystick, yeah. I would imagine. I've only spoken to those two guys really, at least in the past.
At least at events, Dan's usually the most like talkative.
Yeah, talkative, yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
so-
social guy. And once you get some beers in them, at the after party, they also start talking a lot more.
Yeah,
as
all
well.
of them do.
Yeah.
Even Shepard gets out there.
Yeah, and he's very shy typically. I actually, yeah, no mind. An unfortunate situation, of course, for Empire. TSM, they stayed together after winning invite, which that makes the most sense, of course, if possible.
That's actually kind of crazy. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
But
do it.
I feel like if TSM didn't make invite, which they were very close to not doing,
Second last team to make invite. I
they
think.
would have made a change.
They would have to. I mean, you'd argue,
Like 100%. I don't know for who, but I just think they would have made a roster change, which is kind of crazy to think about because now they're definitely not,
I mean, there were rumors I think it was during Stage 3, not that long ago of last year, where there were rumors that they were going to bench a player or change a player to, spice things up.
Yeah.
They didn't, which turned out great for them. Then instead they brought Gotcha back, kind of behind the curtains, behind the scenes.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That's kind of weird, and I don't think it's actually official yet, as far as I know.
No, it's like
there hasn't been a
they've
tweet or
never
something.
announced it, but just everyone knows.
Yeah.
And he tweets about it.
Yeah,
So,
they're very open about it, right? Like he's lifting trophies with them, and he's in the photos backstage and stuff.
He's just there.
You gotta
just-
make the sorry.
He's just there.
He's just there.
Gotcha said, you know what, guys? I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna
Yeah.
rock with y'all for a
But
little
I
bit.
asked him in Sweden when I walked by him, I'm like, are they going to announce you? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, what? His tweets were funny. He's like, can't wait to see the TSM boys play today.
Yeah. Do you think you can make the same comparison for BDS? The most stacked roster, arguably player over player, domestic dominance, never won an international event, not even a tier 3 event, never. Do they make a change? Because first of all, is there even a better player they can replace them with of the current roster? But also, how long can they keep playing for and keep losing and not make a change? Because sure, they got a coach now, they got Bios, he joined them, I think, shortly before Invite. But outside of that, it's been the same roster for a very long time. That's very good, but then again, has never won.
Yeah. I mean, depends how you look at it, because if you look at like TSM, I feel like they took a while to get like where they needed to win an event. So like if BDS thinks the same, then maybe they just need time. They kind of got screwed out of last invite, so like
Yeah.
if they didn't get screwed and they had like a kind of invite, then they would have made a change. I feel like I don't know the players because I haven't played with them, obviously, but I feel like they could upgrade.
Okay.
Like I don't know how good Rafal is, but I feel like they could upgrade him.
Do you have any clues to who would replace him, or do you mean like Rafael as an individual is the one you would replace if you could?
Yeah, well, they all speak French, so that's kind of hard.
Yeah, it makes it a bit more difficult.
I don't know like if there's any good French like flank watch. Who's the flank watch for like X Vitality?
That's a great question. Flank watch is not really a thing in Europe for most teams, right? It's not like a role that we use.
That's true.
The way I see it back when I played, at least, which is over a year ago now, is it's like a team responsibility, and it can be anyone's turn during a round. For example, let's say you're playing Clubhouse. It's a basement attack. Well, the Thermite will often intro-drone and hold a flank cam. Then he has to breach. Well, how someone else has to hold the flank while he breaches, right? Etc. Whether it's a drone or active gun. So in Europe, you just kind of swap between 2 or 3 players throughout a round instead of having a dedicated flank watch player. Unless you happen to play a Nomad, then Nomad becomes the flank watch, typically to use the gadget that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, because I actually think that helped Europe like early on, not having that, but I kind of think it's hurting them now.
I would agree because the game has gotten more like advanced now.
Yeah.
I also think one of the downsides with the European style of flank watch is that there's a lot of gaps where often, you'll be lazy and, you'll give up the flank watch for 5 seconds before the new flank watch comes because you got to do a double rotation. And then, if the defenders, they read that or they see it, have information, they have 5 full seconds where they can just flank and make a move. And sometimes they'll just naturally do that with like bad timing or for them good timing, and you get screwed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's a benefit nowadays in the dedicated flank watcher, just to make it more tight.
We used to have a saying, might have been on early DZ, but we used to call like old G2 like assumers. Like that's they just play the assume play style. Like you guys wouldn't drone much, but you guys would just assume it's clear, and it was because
Yeah.
I don't know, people would respect you guys or something.
Scared, I think is.
Yeah.
I think when you become a very dominant team, which most teams only are for a short moment in the history, but we were for a long time. We have too much respect from players, too much respect from teams, and you're right. We did assume we would. Let's say we played Bank today, we would like assume top floor is clear because we didn't really see anybody. We wouldn't bother joining CEO and like
Yeah.
the 4-window room that we call Trump. Which is, but it's probably clear. And then if we could flank, we're like, well, it wasn't clear. Our bad, Something where you can almost say that we lack discipline, but we just cut some corners here and there. Usually it worked in our favor.
Sometimes you have to.
And sometimes you have to, right? You only have 3 minutes.
Yep.
I think when attack or repick, you can arguably say that you save some seconds because you get the maximum best operator lineup. But even with that, let's say roam clearing theme park, roam clearing bank, if you are slow in the initial entries, it can really cost you some minutes or some seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta make some roof spawns.
You want roof spawns?
I just want. I feel like most of the time I waste in a round is like me getting to the map.
What if you spawn on bank roof and you can just full send down main skyline in 5 seconds?
That just. Yeah,
I think defender setups are too long for all that.
Like Castle Mute, Jaeger, like.
Yeah.
Castle-
I'm setting up like a minute 30 into the round.
Yeah.
Castle
Like
setup.
10 seconds into the
I mean,
round,
just
this
give me
guy's in
like a-
sight. It's
Give
like,
me a spawn on like.
I don't want to deal with
Cafe
that.
Skylight. Let me post up instantly. That'd be kind of crazy.
Do the Monty drop right away.
Then the
That
sight
clip's the
info.
best, bro.
I clip.
Oh, that's an all-time clip.
Yeah, that was like. That was the night I found out I made Soniqs.
Oh, really?
So I was just.
That was the night I found out I didn't make Sonics.
So
Dude.
it was. That's funny. We were competing for the same teams.
Wait, you guys both tried out for
I was
this?
going to say, was that a real joke?
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Well,
Because basically, he tried out with Soniqs one day, and I tried out for Orglis, which was Jarvis's CL team, and we scrimmed them.
Mhm.
So like I scrimmed him,
Oh, yeah.
no way.
and then the next day
He
I
slammed
scrimmed.
me.
The next day I scrimmed with Soniqs, and then I scrimmed Mark Lags, who was on my team too at that time. So yeah, I was just scrimming my friends for Pro League tryouts, which was pretty fun.
They were throwing for you.
Nah, it was a battle. Those days were you had to get messy those days.
Was that your only Pro League tryout?
Yeah.
Going back to roof spawns, because I think it's an interesting topic. On a map like Cafe, you spend like 30, 45 seconds getting to the roof, assuming that you're getting small peak. You can't just spray to the building, right? And on test server, I don't know if you guys remember, they actually did this one patch or actually a couple patches, where they reinforced by default the top 4 hatches on the roof of Cafe or every map. What if that was the solution? You can spawn on the roof. Sure, you can skylight rush if you want to. Sure. I mean, I feel like defenders could be ready for that. But let's say that because the hatches are not reinforced, you gotta spend hard breach utility to like not rush down the soft hatch.
I don't think it's enough.
No?
I think
it's too much for attackers.
I think it would still be terrible. It would be terrible for attack and defense.
Yeah.
Because like defense anywhere under the skylight, you would not be able to like prep anything.
True.
And then
You have to-
attack, all I have to do is like you have to ban Cade or you're just not
Yeah.
getting those hatches. I feel like
You have to bend.
Oh yeah, I feel like you would have to
Yeah, you
code
just
it
can't
so
get
Kite
to it.
couldn't
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I feel like you'd have to code it so that Kite wouldn't be able to do it because that would just be absurd, right? That was also my fear. Like Thatcher ban, Kate open. It's like you gotta map the hatch every round. Like
You
it's
got
gonna
the
take
Thatcher
more
Mav
time.
ban on
Yeah.
Cafe.
Yeah, Thatcher map ban. Yeah, you got to.
Definitely, if the roof hatches are reinforced, I'd rather be spawning in River Docks and get to the building.
Go from down up instead for bakery. Yeah.
Yeah. That would just be that would change like when I saw that, like I was thinking like that would just change like the whole way the map is like
Just be awful.
because like it'd be like weird because like if Cade's not banned, you would just be like entering up red, fighting top red from lower red, and it'd just be awkward.
It would make certain sites so good though.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like Clubhouse would be pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Like Office.
yeah.
Don't even have to worry about that hatch for so long, probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of individual operators, Nick, who is the strongest individual operator on attack and defense, in your opinion? Like the most always good, overtuned, whatever the case is. Like, what's the operator?
Always good. I'd say like Smoke, but I don't think he's OP though. I think he's like probably the most balanced op, along with like Sledge, I guess.
Yeah.
We
But I
all
wouldn't
know
say
the
either
most
of those
OP
are OP.
attack operator, right?
Finka.
Finka's definitely the
Finka,
most
yeah,
Yeah.
Finka's the most OP
Broken.
attack though.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I've seen like either myself or teammates get someone low enough to kill him, but they're Finka boosted and it saved them is like annoying. And the LMG is just stupid.
I remember we were in scrims and J-Shet was in a clutch against Finka. He downed the
What map?
Finka right in front of him.
What
Like-
map were you guys screaming?
Can't tell you that. But,
What room were you in?
He downed him, and then he started defusing. I'm like, oh man, J-Shot. And I heard the Finka res just straight up killed him. I'm like, damn, that's just unlucky.
That's rough.
I think the LMG is just because I found the LMG in many.
I think she'd still be broken without the LMG though.
You think?
Yeah.
I think the LMG just
The-
makes it.
Oh, it definitely makes it over the top.
Because with the spear, it's like the spear is still like great. Like I love the spear, but like just with when you have the LMG, you can just walk through a room.
Oh yeah, you're like a solo like
Yeah, I wish I knew about the LMG when I was playing it. I invented the Finka meta, by the way.
That was you?
Yeah,
That's cap.
I was holding flank as Finka.
they were one of the first ones we
On
played
Gridlock.
with them on it. Yeah.
I was running it when with the suppressor. remember
Yeah, I know you did that
Yeah.
on Cafe.
That was back when they used to drop your recoil. Jay-Shay used to get mad at me because he used to hate like
I loved the recoil change,
yeah,
honestly.
because he would just he would pull it down to the floor because he wasn't used to.
We scrimmed them one day last stage, and they were all using suppressors, and we're like, "Are you guys trolling?" They're like, "No, we're not trolling it." And then they didn't use it in their next match.
yeah.
I'm like, "What the?"
Nah.
Yeah,
It's-
Jack had sledge suppressor.
Yes.
He was trying it because of Kansan. Because he was
Really?
Yeah, if we scrimmed Kansan on him, he was using it. Nah, but the suppressor wave. So y'all ain't ready for that.
There's no way you still.
There's
use
not a suppressor wave, dude.
It was a wave.
There's no way.
No,
it
what
wasn't
wave?
even UL.
I'm telling you. So on some guns, the suppressor was hidden. Finka LMG, Zoe LMG. I ran that against. I did run that on game day against y'all.
Did you?
Yeah, we fucking slapped y'all.
When I'm back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'll run it up.
The APAC players
that
run
was our-
suppressor too. A lot of the APAC players at Invite were running suppressor. I don't really know why, but
It's because the thing was last year I was on low sense and like some of the attachments were just funky with me, like on the vector. So I tried suppressor on the vector and it was fire.
No.
It was fire.
that's like the worst gun.
What did
for
it take like 15 shots to kill someone?
I mean, it already
I-
takes
I
15.
I know.
I only hit heads.
No, you don't.
I only hit.
What's your headshot percentage? Look it up.
Look it up right now.
I'll look
You
it
got to
up.
get the career headshot set.
Look it up right now.
It was Citizen Uno. They started a wave in EOL with the Romai AUG play silencer on it. I don't know why it is, but they just did it, and then a lot of people started copying it as well. I did it too, and I was like, I guess this
I've
slaps.
seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
It's a thing, apparently. It's just the thing.
The 1.5 is just too good. Not
It
too,
is.
The 1.5 is so good.
I use AUG sometimes though, depending on the position. But like most of the time, 1.5 is just better.
Yeah.
We've seen more Smoke FMG as well in the first two play days of NAL. We saw multiple teams playing Smoke FMG instead of playing double shotgun and mute and Smoke.
Yeah.
Again, the 1.5 just being really good.
I got a 61% headshot rate.
61?
This season.
I mean, that's
Oh,
that's
this
pretty good. If you're in the 60s, I mean, I think that's solid.
Yeah, that's
That's really good.
that's gotta be near the top. Like this, like the 60s, mid to high 60s. It has to
Definitely.
be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
I think I'm at like a 20 or 30 this season.
Hey,
What? It just depends on the guns you're using.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you're flank watch and you're on Nomad or you're Yana, like body shots are just so easy.
ARX. That's a
That gun is
That's a
ridiculous.
gun. That gun.
Slaps.
I always say it needs more ammo.
No,
No,
But-
no.
But if it had more ammo, like no,
it'd be broken.
because it's just like that gun just shreds you, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like 2-3 shots, you're on 1 HP for the rest
it's
of
just 47 damage, like 700 fire rate. It's ridiculous damage.
It's just
The Aruni DMR.
all
That
that.
gun?
That's been getting.
That's
That
way-
gun's been hit.
I was like, damn, I just got one tap.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I just got body shot.
Ever since they
Like, that
put
guy had
the,
a crazy shot on me.
ever since they put the muzzle on,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
Yeah.
so good.
you can just shoot it.
it's like the TCSG.
What's your guys' like comfort
One.
gun? It doesn't even have to be a good gun, but you're like when you use that
The
gun,
ARX definitely.
yeah, I mean that gun's a given.
Comfort.
Mine's
My comfort
mine's the
gun?
Vector.
I'll go.
I just go nuke
I'll
with
go
the Vector.
SMG11.
I don't know.
SMG11.
I go through phases of like just guns that I like, but I think I like Valk's gun.
Oh yeah.
MPX?
MPX
The
is so good.
The MPX on land is just
Monster.
Thorn's gun too on land.
Thorn's
thing-
gun
That thing
slaps.
was just hitting different. It was hitting different.
I wish she
She's
was
got a good
slightly
gun.
better just so I could play her more.
Yeah, she's okay.
She's okay, but like
She's not OP. She's
you
not-
only bring her when you don't need something.
Mm.
You just need a shield. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna play Thorn.
Yeah,
When Iconic already got a race.
the traps are so easy to dodge.
Yeah,
Got the first one. In the NAL at least.
I
was-
did.
I was kind of confused. I thought he was down, but I watched it back and he was just trapped by the purple window. And
Yeah.
just took him out.
But that's why it's great because it's either you stay in the corner, you gotta flick the razor bloom, or you gotta sprint away and you can't shoot back, you know. So
Yeah.
it's one of those great positions to use it in. I like the F2 or L85 as like my crutch, I
Mhm.
guess. I think I had this discussion with my former teammates where I always complain about using SMG11 because I think it sucks. Like for like long range, like coastline for example.
Yeah,
Worst gun in the
it
game.
definitely depends on the spot. for
Certainly. That's also why like out on the console out to like meeting room, you know, I can fight close quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always complain about it, and my teammates were like, "Yo, but like you only win so many gunfights because of the gun." And I'm like, maybe that's true. We'll never know because I only played this operator, but it might be true because I had the lowest headshot percentage, pretty much of any player in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a Rapple player and I was an SMG11 player, which is great for body shots because of the fire rate. So maybe I was carried by a weapon that I hated, which is, I guess, this is the way it is.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like it a lot.
It definitely the SMG11 in like shotgun combo has like so much potential to pop off.
Oh, for sure.
Like in the right spots, it's like the best like combo.
You just have so much to work with. Yeah.
You do, and then you got like both Mute and Smoke, who are those operators. They have great utility, right? The gadget, secondary gadget, whether it's C4 bulletproof or deployable shield. I personally, as a Smoke main, I've been wanting to get the Smoke deployable shield removed for like years now because I think it's too much.
It is a lot.
It like the gadget is like the best gadget in the game on defense, arguably.
Like his kit is so good already.
Yeah, and you get shotgun, SMG11 combo, and you get FMG9 with 1.5x. If you get a mute shotgun, I feel like the shield could go. You would not like nothing would change besides the fact that you would have one less shield, but also maybe that was because Goyo back in the day, you know, he would have two shields as well. Now with Goyo being reworked, this might change my view on it because you don't have as many shields as you did before.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Just now, I think he's fine. His kit's still a lot, but I feel like it's not OP because like just like the ops that are like useful. Because right now on defense, you kind of have to bring like kind of some useless ops sometimes to get a shield
Yeah.
because they kind of move them around a lot.
Especially with Goyle nerf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like he's fine having a shield, or you would see some crazy lineups if they took the smoke shield away.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, sometimes you would need like 2 random ops for shields.
Yeah.
Which would be like just not a lot of util because you're bringing like Alibi and
The Warden.
Frost or something.
Yeah.
Thorn.
Thorn, Warden.
You're losing something. Yeah, Warden. Warden's actually gotten. I feel like he's gotten a lot better because of attacker repick.
Yeah.
A lot of people just like they'll usually always have smokes, and
For sure.
if that's the thing with attacker repick is it can be a buff to defense if they don't see certain things.
Mm.
But usually, I mean, they're seeing most things. Like if they don't see a Warden or if they don't see a clash, like it could hurt you.
Yeah. And that when they first got announced, that's what I liked about Attack and Repick is that it favors teams who now actually join the building and gain information because normally it's like, what bomb site is it? Oh, it's top floor? Okay, hide your drones. Keep them alive, whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, let's see if we can get a little bit more intel. Is there a certain wall reinforced? Is there a rotate over there? Is there a clash? Is there a warden? And then you can play around it. So it might cost you a drone or two if the defenders they look out for your drones, but if not, then it's just free. So it depends.
You could say it also makes like defending a little bit less predictable. 'Cause at least with 6 picking, it was like you see like 4,
Yeah,
you
would
see
see
4
everything.
ops, and like
Oh yeah.
you can kind of just like
knew.
if you have like your op data, like you should like know the sites.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like it's a 2-way street.
I feel like
with,
ops get hidden a lot on defense too.
Yeah.
It's like you
intentionally.
find out they have a Valkyrie or something like that.
Yeah, you do for sure. But I feel like most of the time it almost doesn't even matter because like if they're doing like a heavy roam setup, you just switch to roam ops and then like you don't need as many drones because you have Jackal, you have Lion, you know.
Mhm.
Or if you just switch to like an ISO and then you don't really need drones anyways because you're just ISOing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What if we implemented a third ban? So normal ban phase, attacker, defender, and then both teams can get a third ban that can be either an attacker or a defender. Because I think adding 2 more bans to both teams might be too much. Like say you ban 4 defenders and 4 attackers, it seems to me at least like you can ban 4 hot breachers in theory, right?
Yeah.
Say you got 3 bans, the third one being optional for either side. Then you can like target ban the Jackal as an extra if you want to be roaming on bank. You can do a target ban on the second hard breach if you want to be turtling more on the bomb side.
I feel like it
With
could
the
be
attacker repeat,
it
of
could be
course.
good, but like I feel like some teams would just be weirdos and fully abuse it. And like let's say, our team uses their third ban for an attacker, the other team could also do an attacker and that was just like nothing to play.
Mhm.
I feel like that there could be like weird circumstances with that, like Thatch Mab ban and like also something else like Cali
Yeah.
banned or some shit too.
I guess you could try and limit it where it's like the first team to ban the third operator would choose attack or defense, and then the last ban could only do the opposite side, so you wouldn't get
Yeah, I feel like
4
that would be
attackers banned.
pretty good. But
Because
that,
I do think we're getting close to that era, because like League of Legends, there's a big discussion right now
Yeah.
about do we need more champion bans, because there's like 158 or 60 something champions and there's still only 5 bans per team, and both teams can ban the same character, which means there's less. And in Siege, we're slowly creeping up to 100 operators. We're getting there nice and slowly.
Mhm.
When do we need more bans? Like, is it in 5 more operators? Does it depend on how strong the operators are? Because that's also a factor, right? If all the new operators suck and they're not worth banning, then we don't need more operator bans, because then we're just banning the same old operators, but more of them.
I think it depends for it's like solely on like how good the operator is. Like if the operator is like a breacher, like that's automatically like on like a high ban list because like it's a new breacher. And then if like you have like another like Valk or something like that, like your Valk, your what are more common bans on defense? Again, Valk, Cade, Mira,
Echo.
like you get one of those ops where it's like you kind of want to take it out. I think then like you get in the conversation of more bans. But like right now, like with Thorn, like it's just like you don't really need to ban it because it's like it's nothing like detrimental to like your attacks or your defenses, if you get what I'm saying. So I think it definitely depends on what operators they put out, and then also too like the util, but with those ops, because I think they've been doing a good job recently of making sure like the ops don't have like too crazy of util with it.
Yeah, for sure. I do think a zombie's pretty nasty.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On certain maps, she's broken, I think.
yeah.
Certain bomb sites.
They should change up her secondary util.
I would be down.
What is her secondary util?
I think barb impacts.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
impacts and bars, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think that's fine?
I
What
think
else would
that's-
you give
Yeah,
her?
I think that's
Actually,
okay.
I think
that
that's
is fine.
probably your best. I mean,
I'd probably say barb BP.
I was gonna say the
BP.
BP is the thing is, you want to make it weaker, you have to go barbed wire and motion detectors, because that's the two weakest.
Yeah,
That's it.
that would
Because
be the
BP,
weakest.
C4, and impacts are the 3
Yeah.
strongest, right? The nice thing about her impacts is that you can she can impact her own gadget and like destroy the line of sight from her distance. But now she can also impact trick, and she can counter OSA and all
Yeah.
these things, and it's like,
Yeah.
Because if I were to nerf Smoke by removing the shield, I would give him motion detectors and barbed wire, just because I don't want the BP or the impacts, because Smoke had C4 once upon a time. That was kind of strong. Kite had impacts once upon a time. When you have a deny gadget and a deny secondary gadget,
Yeah.
it's too much. in
Yeah,
one
it's too
operator.
much.
But I mean, Asami, I imagine she'll be both banned and played. I also think you can argue she might need to lose one of her kunais or whatever.
She gets a lot. Like they just keep coming when you play her. Like
Yeah, she
that's how it
gets
feels.
5, and she gets them at 1 minute 30
It's
into the round.
5. I thought it was 3.
No,
No,
5.
she gets 5 at halfway through the round. So
Yeah.
I think if you just take away 1, give her 4, and she gets the 4th like sub 1 minute, so like the recharge time is longer because she gets the first 3 right out of prep phase. That's over half.
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
And then at 1 minute 40 or 1 minute 30, she gets the 5th. And then like if you die at 1 minute 30, you still have used all 5 of your utilities. Like for my Lesion, like rechargeable gadgets on Asami, I feel like you should get your last charge and be rewarded for staying alive.
Yeah.
That's not the case currently, but again, we have the we have 3 months before she gets seen in pro play.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit out of hand.
I feel like imagine like Castle, her, and like the new Goyo all together. Like that'd just be so annoying
Oh,
on certain maps.
it's almost.
You just have to have explosives.
I was gonna say we're almost going back to like the shield meta where you have to destroy utility with soft breach.
It's like, oh, post plant, I'm good. They don't have
The
explosives.
nice thing is actually for retakes. Like if you save a kunai, it's like I don't know if you play pool table on coastline. Or the map is not pro play anymore, but like you can sit all the way back in ruins. Aqua repel balcony, etc. You can throw a kunai, block the line of sight. You can defuse.
Exactly.
So you do have to keep that in mind for retakes and post plants with a sign on the table that you can't just play super far back anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun.
What I was doing with her in ranked, which I feel like is actually nasty, is like putting it on the other side of a soft wall and like using it like a reinforcement. Because they'll be shooting at the soft wall the whole time, not knowing like that there's even a thing there. So you could literally just use that as like a fake reinforcement, just wherever you want.
That's smart.
That is a good idea.
That's smart.
And you're nerfing Buck. Not that Buck gets played like at all anymore, really, but again against Buck, it also counters him because his gadget, I don't believe, destroys the Asami boys. Either.
No,
Nice.
they're pretty. I mean, they're pretty easy to hit, but like you're not gonna be always able to hit them. You know.
I mean, if they're in the ceiling, you do a vertical play from
Yeah.
below. It's like you can't. You need a ladder.
Yeah.
Because 3 hits in like a late round scenarios.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a
like
lot.
if you think about like in game speed, like it's a lot of hits.
Beats a castle barricade, though, right? That's like 9 now. 8 for prep, 9 for breaking, I believe. They
Not,
use that.
yeah, 9 for breaking. That's one thing is like, I've seen like a lot of like crazy like boost spots and stuff with the zombie. Like, are those legal?
No, I don't
So they
think.
patched it.
Yeah, you can't stand on them
So
anymore,
when
I
it
don't think.
first came out,
Okay.
you could go on it like a shield before, but then they changed it to where just like with a deployable shield, it'll collapse and break
Okay.
because you could do some ridiculous boost with it, like
Yeah.
absolutely.
I saw a dude in like
You saw
Skyline
like getting up
games.
like cafe skylight or something.
Yeah, no, you can like spawn peak instantly with
Oh
it
yeah,
and
the
stuff.
rafters
It's
of
wild.
office.
Yes, I was just like, dude, what is this?
There's an OSA boost you can do in cafe. I'm sure you guys might have seen it. Like if you're facing the skyline cafe and you go behind it, you put down an OSA shield. You vault the OSA shield. You actually get on top of the skylight. You can look straight down. You can look into like the Shaiko spot. You can look into like the rotate to B2 or whatever. That's also banned from pro play. Clubhouse master bedroom window. You can like sprint into the window and crouch, and you're sitting in the
Yeah,
window frame.
if,
Also banned.
yeah, I
from pro
know.
play.
Someone knows that one. Is that you?
That was me.
Oh, right now. There's actually a way to get boosted up onto the villa skylight.
I
You can
saw
do-
that.
Yeah, because we got the clip for the NL broadcast. We're like, oh, spectators, be aware that this boost spot exists. It's not loud, so don't commentate over it. Just like kind of skim away. We'll rehost. And I was like, if I see one of you guys freaking boost spotting a villa skylight, I'll come for your ass because that's ridiculous. Well, it's really strong, I guess.
Back to a point you mentioned, Buck. I think Buck needs a change.
Buck and IQ need something.
Some grenades or gun sixes, maybe.
I think the grenades for Buck would be too much. I feel like
Gone.
I'd give Buck just a gun and keep the flashes, and he's kind of like Lion, but like you just have like your vertical play still, but you still have the capability of clearing something. And then with IQ, the thing with IQ is you can't give her something too good because it'll make her OP.
Yeah.
So for IQ, like I want to give her flashes or nades because then that she would just become like that would just be like another entry off, like another like.
I feel like
type.
she would be.
What do you have now?
fun to
Breaches clay.
Breaches
Yeah,
Clay.
British Clay.
I think you give her like smokes, maybe. I don't know. It's
What if you gave her a gun 6 and reworked the gadget so the gadget is the pistol and the scanner? So that, right now you have the pistol and you have the scanner separately.
So she had a pistol and a gun.
Yes, no.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if you use her gadgets, you'll whip out a scanner and the pistol at once.
Mhm.
The pistol, yes, and then she'll also have a gun 6. So yes, you'd have a pistol and a gun 6, and she'd have a primary weapon because I don't think you can give her flashbangs and nades. You can maybe give her smokes. That might work. But is that enough to warrant playing her over any, like Ayana, for example? Like, it's hard to compete.
She would need something else.
It's just
Yeah.
it's hard because of the pistol, the gadget being needed with the pistol, because like you don't really want to give her like 3 weapons.
I don't think you're gonna replace Yana Finka with her.
Yeah.
'Cause you're gonna need nades and a gun.
I think
Yeah.
even if she had 3 weapons, like the gun and the pistol, I don't think she would be used. Like if she didn't have flashes. Like,
Yeah.
if she didn't have throwables, it could even be smokes, I guess. But I think she would probably be at the same level, maybe slightly above.
It's hard to like not make it OP, but then like still make it like okay, because like you can't really not make her OP.
This might be a crazy idea. I actually just thought of this. What if you made a new throwable that is like, its only purpose is to clear like, it doesn't do anything. It's like literally like throwing a not working flash grenade, and its sole purpose is to burn the SSM on my discs. And you give it to somebody like IQ, who with 2 flashbangs is arguably too strong, you can argue, and you don't have 2 of them maybe instead of 3. So let's call it a decoy grenade. It sounds like a flashbang, as the icon of a flashbang, doesn't actually flash.
It's just like a rock. You just
It's literally just
yes.
a rock you throw and it burns the ADS, and then like.
I mean, that would be good. That would be good enough, I think. I mean, aren't they making like some like EMP
Oh yeah, the
grenade
EMP.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I was
the
just
EMP
thinking.
thing,
I mean, maybe give that to IQ. That could be
yeah,
decent.
that's a fair argument actually.
I also- I think they need to buff Callie too.
What's sorry?
Callie, because like Thatcher.
They indirectly did though, because with the scope changes, the
Yeah.
1x scopes, you're no longer stuck on that horrendous reflex scope. But I know it's not like enough of a buff.
I mean, it definitely is a buff. I do agree, but like I'm saying, her gadget actually sucks against
Kinda
claws.
does.
Like if the claws just slightly off the hatch, you just can't get it.
Mm.
Like I just feel like that needs to change. Like it should be like more of like a radius thing, like an EMP.
There's 2 ways to change it, right? Because you can either change the Kali or you can change the Kaid. Because Kali works fine against Mutant Bandit,
Yeah,
just doesn't work well against the Kaid because of how the range works. Like, you can argue that the Kai Claw should be on the reinforced area that it electrifies, like a Bandit charge. Or, as you mentioned, give the Kali Claw a circular explosion like an EMP to counter it as well.
yeah.
I do agree with that. I still think with, like, say you play Theme Park with Kaid Band and Thatcher Band, Kali's still really good.
Yeah,
because you can
I
directly
mean,
counter
she's
the
solid.
breakers.
It's just against Cage, she's useless.
Yeah,
Which kind of sucks, I feel like.
it does.
She's like supposed to be like a Thatcher, like, switch out, but she can't even do what Thatcher does, so there's no point.
I think the EMP grenades might be a little much. I feel like that
We'll see.
defeats the whole purpose of
Depends.
Thatcher.
It depends on the ops they give them to.
Well, the radius didn't look that big.
No, they nerfed it. It literally only covers 1 reinforcement. I think.
Yeah.
So in a double wall, if you put a bandit charge far left and far right, it would only get the center area, I think.
Hmm.
It looked very small from the video, at least.
So it'd probably suck against Cade, I'd imagine.
So
You'd almost need
Yeah.
to have IQ to know where it is, and then throw the EMP adequately, knowing the location.
That's why I'd be good with her.
Exactly.
That'd
yeah.
be. I mean, that would be
Mhm.
that'd be nice.
it would.
What other ops are kind of just bad right now?
Blitz. Shit.
I wouldn't even say he's bad.
There's a bug right now with shields where when you vault
Yes.
the window,
I saw that.
Yeah.
In,
Bro,
in the
It's been
XSET
the game for 6 months, but I just found out recently. So
I died like that in ranked, and like my teammates are like, "Yeah, that's how it is." I'm like, "What?
That's how it is.
I just vaulted. My shield's in front of my face, and I just died."
it's not apparently. Kind of weird.
Gridlocks. Just
Gridlock's interesting because she has
If
a ton of
Gridlock
burn.
was a 2-2, I think she'd be nasty.
I make Gridlock.
I don't.
I make
I
Gridlock
think she's
with a 3
nasty as
speed.
the three.
She's nasty right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, her gun is insane.
I think the gadget's kind of meh.
It depends. If you're on a map with like all the flanks to staircases, I think she's pretty good.
I think she's good like when you're executing like on your planter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the sound.
Because like you can use them like insight and like sometimes like that stuff is just annoying like going through those track stingers.
It just kind of sucks that Nomad's so good. compared-
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
I feel like it might be a more of like you kind of nerf Nomad a little bit, and then that makes Gridlock more playable. But like if you have like Nomad Gridlock up, which you usually do, it's like you're not really using.
I think if they just made Gridlock a 2-2, people would play both.
Yeah,
Because it's different. Like, she has smokes. Like you said, it could be more for executes. Or I think she just might be better on staircase maps.
Mm.
you could bring the Shoddy too, or you could bring the Gon.
Yeah.
Whatever you're feeling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
She has it gone.
Yeah, she does.
I think so.
I didn't know that.
I actually forgot to
Yeah.
until you said that. But I don't play her, so
Yeah, I only play her.
Yeah, I'm not the Gridlock player on our team.
I play her in
Is anyone though?
sometimes.
Can't say.
Okay. I do agree though with your point, Harden, that being a 1 speed on attack, rotating and moving around, it's just too slow, man. Same reason with Fuse, right? Like,
yeah, especially if you're on the flank watch, because like a lot of times the flank watch turns into the flanker, you know.
Yeah,
And if you're traversing the map with a 1 speed, like
you got to get active sometimes.
yeah, it's just it's
capitalize
just weird.
the gap. You're running, taking the gap on Gridlock. It's just
There's no sneaking around with her.
there isn't.
no, there's not.
Fuse kind of sucks.
I mean, so Fuse is actually secretly well powered on both sides. Attack or repick, because I think Brazil, no, Heroic played in UL. And I don't remember what map it was. I think it was Clubhouse, but I don't know.
A lot of people have been running them on club.
Yeah.
What I've been
Club
watching.
basement and whatnot, like Verd.
I've seen
and
that, yeah.
Cafe, if you attack basement and you take mining control, like with attack or repick, there's some crazy stuff you can do.
Yeah,
Warranted that you actually bother with the roam clear and whatnot. But AK-12, good gadget or decent gadget.
I'd say Fuse got better with attacker repick because like
You can now
Well,
you
that
know.
because like those situations where like glass Fuse are good, you can actually like
You don't want to
bring
randomly
them.
just pick the Fuse.
Yeah, but you don't want to just randomly 6-pick Fuse and like if it's not the site you thought you're stuck on Fuse
Mm-hmm.
because like say like back on Consulate on Garage I used to run Fuse hard reach gadgets and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
you can just clear like a lot of utility from above like with it because like it just like goes across like the whole garage. You clear all the banshees, the bubbles close. It's
I was gonna say it's pretty good when Habana's banned and
Yeah.
you need hard reach devices. It's like usually when Habana's banned, you have someone with hard reach devices now,
mhm.
depending on the map. Like Bank, you always have hard reach devices for the most part. Now you can just go Fuse or Club. I mean, even Club's good. You
Yeah.
get 2 hatches. You actually just reminded me because what map were you just talking about?
Well,
Consulate?
Consulate. Okay. Yeah, you just reminded me. I don't know why, but it reminded me. I was gonna say that Soniqs kind of got boned with the map pool changes because like they were so good at what like Oregon, Cons, and what was the third map? Club. And then they started getting good at Coastline, and then Coastline got taken out, and now they have to learn 3 new maps. So I feel like, I mean, I don't know what their 4th map's going to be, but that's usually how they've been.
Not Skyscraper.
They thought it was going to be Sky.
They thought it was, but then Iconic showed up.
I think a lot just changed coming into this Pro League season. The
Yeah.
attacker repick plus like the 3 new maps. It's just you have to like relearn so much.
It's hard to fit all your maps in too.
Yeah,
Just
like
getting
practice.
That is the hardest, is scrimming.
Yeah,
Because, like, you have
There's-
9 maps to
there's
scrim.
so many
It's like,
maps.
oh damn, haven't played this map in a few days.
You're like, I'm not playing this map this week.
What map is that? What?
Take a guess. No, I'm just kidding. We play every map.
Alright.
Every single one.
All right.
Yeah, Dave,
Even
you
the
seem like you'd be
casuals.
really good at like
I'm kind of nasty on Favela
theme
DM.
park.
What's the worst deathmatch map for you guys? Villa is by far the worst for me.
Favela. I always play against this guy who has a spot that like watches both the staircases.
No way.
So whenever I come down the stairs, he
Wait,
just,
is
like,
it in the back? Like,
yeah, the
B
little
part?
like plant
And
area?
Does he have a G8?
Yes.
no.
Is
It's
it
Amari.
Proton?
Yes.
Dude,
Dude,
fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
What?
No, that guy's a deathmatch menace. He will camp. It doesn't matter the map. He will find a room on theme park. He'll camp throne with a G8, and he'll just pre-fire just turret. And every time you go back to throne, he's there. And then Favela, he's just in the far back room, like first floor, and like with like 2 holes in the walls, and he just keeps looking back and
Mhm.
forth.
What?
I haven't dealt with him on theme yet.
No, it's bad. I played against that guy like 5 times. Like, how does he play that much?
So, kind of closing thoughts. One final question. We might do some chat stuff. We might not. Have you guys seen Emerald Plains? Did you guys play CS Server by any chance?
I haven't
little
played
bit.
it. I haven't played it, but I watched the Coconut Bra vid. So, I have a good understanding.
I played like 5 rounds on it.
It's obviously it's way too difficult to say anything based off like casual play and not really like scrimming on it. But from initial standpoint, are we thinking yay? Are we thinking nay?
I kind of liked it.
It looks nice.
Yeah. people were comparing it to Bartlett, but it was like nothing like it. So it's like I wouldn't take much stock into that.
I have not played it, so
I haven't played it, but I've just seen it and it looks nice. It looks like it's more promising than like the past new maps.
Cool.
I think the biggest thing when making new maps is the inside.
Like the visuals of it?
Just making the
Yeah.
rotations nice. So I think that's the biggest thing, and like you just can't have like a map like Consulate or like Chalet too. With
You
like,
guys
just
loved
window
Consulate.
play. I mean, I love it, but like it's like
Yeah, it's
like
just,
when you love it and you
It kind of sucks,
and
but
you
a
like,
bad
use the
design.
window play, it's like you still have to deal with that stuff. So like it's just annoying. At least like I prefer like more like in map gunfight than me fighting people like on repels.
yeah, for sure. That map didn't. I mean, the new map didn't look like it had a lot of repels. I will say,
Yeah.
but I did
No,
think it
it-
looked
it
like
doesn't.
Bartlett. It didn't feel like Bartlett.
no, it didn't feel like it at all.
Okay,
It
That's
kind of, I
good.
mean, yeah, it kind of looks like it a little bit, I guess.
I'm pretty sure they used some of the layout from Bartlett.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
saw
some
like
photos
I
that
saw like a
surfaced.
screenshot.
I saw like
Yeah.
the layout photos, and they didn't look
I think I played
that
it
similar.
in a test server, like in a like we did a dev test like on the unfinished map.
Like a workshop.
Yeah, like a workshop, and I think it's the same one, but I'm
Oh.
not sure because it I think it is. I think it is.
All right.
There's a lot of top down play on it, right?
No, what's sorry?
There's a lot of top down.
I didn't play it that much today.
So I think there is a lot of top down if you actually do it, but we just ran around the map like
Yeah.
crazy people. Yeah, it'll be fun to play. Want to see if chat has any questions for you? So chat, if anybody has a question, you can target it towards the group, an individual, etc. I saw Assassin Kaya had one just asking if we spoke about Asami yet, and we did. It was like a general like might be kind of strong, might be kind of banned. Definitely might be tricky with the utility, with the soft reach required to clear out the gadget. Does anybody else have any questions? Hannibal B, why also good looking? Iconic. Why is that?
You're looking kind of snazzy, Dave.
Thank you. I
Nick's
mean,
got
The
it.
shades. It's a shade.
It is the shades.
It's the shade buff.
I
I
mean,
don't want to say just the shades. That sounds mean.
we're just good looking people. That's it.
Oh, I like that. I saw two good questions actually. Best 1x scope. I actually had that in my notes. I want to ask you guys because on Twitter you guys discuss it. What's the best
Don't
one?
even
Oh,
say
I
it.
got
Don't even say it.
Cybertruck Hollow.
No, shut
Bruh,
No,
that's cap.
man.
That is cap.
It's a hollow B.
Hollow A.
Hollow A or hollow B or
Hollow
like
A.
Holloway for sure.
Hollow A. Hollow A is just
hollow A on any SMGs, like SMG 11 or like bearing.
shotguns too. I
But-
like shotguns.
What?
Yeah, I feel like it just puts me right where I want to be. Like
What's the I don't know the names. What's the like circular red dot that's not the default one?
Red dot B.
the
the
Red
Red
dot B. That on shotguns, and then Cybertruck on
Oh,
on everything
Bro, if
else.
you're using the Cybertruck in our game, I'm peeking you.
Is the coach
Please.
change on Astralis a lot better or a big difference? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, Call Out just implemented just so much into our system, and he's really helped us grow, like as players and people. And I feel like I'm just a lot more like confident in myself in a way, like in game too. Just having him like leading us in a way. It's just been a real. Like,
I knew
culture
it'd
change.
be a good fit for you guys.
Yeah.
I knew it would.
All right, I was told we can do one more question, but I'm gonna make it two because one of them will be very quick. If Kali got a normal weapon, would that be enough to suffice of a buff to make her more playable, or is it a gadget-based issue like we kind of spoke
I
about?
mean, it would
I think
definitely
it could,
it'd definitely make her a lot better depending on the weapon.
What if you took?
because you can't one shot 3 armors with it. I don't think.
What if you took away Amaru's SMG 11 and gave it to Callie, and then gave
No.
Amaru the?
No, I would rather
It's not
have
enough.
the one that Callie has now. That gun's good.
You think?
Oh yeah.
No?
That gun's like a mini. It's like a mini FAMAS, mini F2.
I haven't used it too much because like the reflex was on it, so
Kind of bouncy.
Put the hollow B on it.
put the hollow B. Okay.
And who's the most annoying player to play against? This can be if you play them in FPL and ranked and pro play in scrims. Who's the most annoying player? Nick, you'll go first. Put you on the spot. If anyone has one
Most
immediately, you can
annoying
also do-
player.
That deathmatch player that we were talking about.
That
There's the Protect guy, whatever his name was.
I don't know. Probably someone who uses the LMGs,
Okay, so an LMG finger
like
clutch.
like Benji maybe.
Okay,
Or like,
Benji. Oh, Paul. Oh,
Paul.
nah, probably the most annoying player, at least for me on the roam, is Laxing.
Relaxing. Okay.
just because he's just weird to flank.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if you're not flanking him, he's not that annoying to play against, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'd have to say Rampy.
Rampy.
Really?
He's
Well, because
just-
he's aggressive, or
I mean, we just kind of know each other. Like we always kind of like know like where we're gonna like we'll meet each other in some spots in the map, and we'll just like he's just a very annoying player to fight. That's it. He's just
You're about to fight him
yeah
next week
Ah.
or this week, I guess.
yeah very annoying player to fight against.
and you just wanted LMG players. Yeah. that's
LMG
it.
players in general.
LMG
Yeah.
players. For the future, chat, we might be doing this via Discord, so you guys can ask questions beforehand or during the podcast, and then we can kind of filter in questions and have more time allocated for them. Because when we just talk openly without knowing what questions might appear, it's very hard to allocate enough time and resources to both do questions and kind of go over topics. So for you guys watching, we might kind of change the format there for the questions you guys can ask. So go to DarkZero's Discord. There's probably somewhere you can find it, or somebody in chat can link it for you. And other than that, I think we're pretty much finished. Any closing thoughts, things you want to say, share, shit talk, Super or Soniqs, anything because they shut the bed, anything at all?
You got anything?
No, I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
I'm ready
We
for him.
play you too, Dave.
I'm
I'm
just.
not worried about that.
I better see the same game day energy I see in scrims.
You
That's all I'm saying.
all you gotta say, we gonna be there. That's all you gotta worry about. Don't worry, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Where are you gonna be? Like what map?
I mean, what map do you want to be on?
They play all 9, he told you already.
Yeah,
We play all night.
whatever map you guys want.
All right. I'll get
What
into
map is that you want? What map do you want?
yacht.
Like if you had to rank all your maps, like
Yeah.
what would you rank them?
Like Astralis' maps, 1 through 9. What would you say?
Yacht. Coastline.
Damn.
I think yacht's our favorite. So
That sucks because that's like not even the map pool anymore. So it's like,
what if yacht was
Unlucky.
that pool?
I wouldn't be
I've
against it.
scrimmed on that map before.
Yeah.
Like 6 years ago.
That map was crazy.
I couldn't imagine that map like competitively.
Bro, you're just walking around, you could hear everything. You're just planking. You're just planking
Everything
on
is
metal.
everything's just
Bro, imagine
metal.
Gridlock on that map, bro. You're not.
Either you're on the rug and you're making no noise, or you're just walking on metal, just making so
Stomping.
much noise.
Nook might be OP on that.
Worst pro league map ever playing, probably though, or favela. Playing was actually kind of fun to play.
No, it wasn't.
It was kind of fun.
It wasn't fun.
To scrim, it was kind of fun. It's just
It
different.
wasn't.
Tower. People.
I feel like you just
Tower.
do some ridiculous stuff
People-
on
people
planes.
sleep
Yeah.
Tower.
Of course
You-
it's
The
gonna be.
shotguns.
I mean, pro league in general was just ridiculous back then.
Yeah.
But playing was just a different game. Like it felt like a different game.
Alright, we're gonna have to cut it on the old map discussion, guys. We're getting off topic.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, we gotta cut it. We're running out of time. Actually, in fact, we have run out of time. So, a little bit of a wave, a little bit of a goodbye. Thank you guys for watching, for chilling, for chatting, and we'll see you guys soon again in the future. Because again, Iconic from Astralis, Hotancold from SSG, Nick from... That's right, he's from DarkZero. Yeah, that's the one. And this will be available on YouTube, Spotify, I think Apple Podcasts, couple places. Go give it a watch. Of course, DarkZero's YouTube channel. Subscribe. You'll see these videos amongst others in the future as well. See you guys next time. Bye.